Hello, I'm Donna Smith, and this is Sound Advice. On Sound Advice, I like to talk about professional and personal development. Well, today I'm going to lean more on personal development, but it will impact your professional development as well. Today's topic is how to have winning relationships. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. So I think of the poet John Donne, who said, "No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main." And he goes on. So what is John saying? He's saying that we are not isolated from others. We need others to help. It lessens our pain. It increases our joys. To be able to share our joys with someone enhances it. So having these winning relationships is like having gold, and it enriches our lives. So you ready to enrich your life? You're ready to have a pocket of gold? Well, here's some tips for you. Number one, be friendly. Very simple, be friendly. Go out your way to show acts of kindness. And we can do that from leaving little Post-it notes on people's doors, or sending cards, or calling, texting. We have so many ways to demonstrate and interact with others. So let's just do some of those things to let people know we're thinking about you, we care about you, and we're there for you. Be a confidant. No one wants a loudmouth gossip. End of story. Be a confidant. Be interesting. You want winning relationships? Be interesting. It makes me think of going back in time, and I admit I wasn't right, but I do have a message. So I was going out on a date with a friend of mine, and just before I was getting ready to go on this date, my cousin calls me and says, "Donna, you gotta come by. Please come by. I want you to meet this lawyer friend of mine." Well, this lawyer was a big shot lawyer in Washington, D.C. And so I said, "Well, I'm getting ready to go on this date." She said, "Yeah, okay, but can you drop by and just meet him on your way before you go to your date?" So I checked with my date, and he reluctantly agreed. So we did stop by, and I met the lawyer, and he was captivating. Everything he said, I was on the edge of my seat. He had so many rich stories about things that he had done, some of his trials and things that he was engaged in, and a lot of very interesting information that he shared, that I was totally enthralled with everything that he said, so much so they were enjoying our company and they begged for us to stay, and I wanted to stay because I wanted to hear more. Now, this man, who's this big shot lawyer, just his appearance wasn't appealing. It was what he had to say and the confidence that he exuded, which was really captivating. Now, it didn't go over well with my date. I get it. We stayed, and my date really didn't want to, so that wasn't good. But what I'm saying is be interesting. Live your life so that you can have something to talk about. Who wants to talk to someone who every time we ask you, "What are you doing?" "Nothing." "What are you doing?" "Nothing." No. Have something to share. Read. Be engaging. Be captivating. And another tip, be fun. Are you a fun person to be with? You know, we were having some snow days here, and I was just enchanted with the fact that I would drive by some homes and I would see that they had built a snowman. Get out there and throw some snowballs. Get a sled and go down the hill and have some fun. Let the kid out. Be a fun person. We're talking about having winning relationships. So you're going to be a confidant. You're going to be interesting. Be a fun person. And be a true listener. Be a true listener. Not, The person stopped talking and you're still saying, That's not a true listener. Or the only questions that you can ask are, how was your day? What's your zodiac sign? That's not a good listener. But listen with intent. Listen with purpose. ask questions such as these. So when you said that, what were you really thinking when you said that? You know, I remember when you said XYZ. Would you do that again? How did you feel when you did such and such a thing? Those are questions that a person can't necessarily respond with a yes or no. They're open-ended questions. And it brings the person out and you listen intently. And if you can go back to them several days later or a week later and say, you know, I remember when you said XYZ. Not everybody is a good conversationalist, but people want to be heard. They want to be known. One of the saddest things I remember is a woman who paid, I don't know if it were a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but paid them to be able to be heard for 1 hour. Again, particularly now with all of the stressors that we have, there's a lot that we want to share and talk about. So you be that person who's a good listener. Now, I've been blessed. I do have a lot of winning relationships, but I can think of one person in particular who is an extremely good listener. As a matter of fact, I probably have a couple of friends who are extremely good listeners, and they listen with intent, and I enjoy sharing with them because I know that they're listening with intent. And one of these individuals, I can talk to him literally all night long. As a matter of fact, I have talked to him almost all night long because he is interesting, he is well-read, and he's a good listener. Be that person. Now, be careful about the words that you say. Words are hard to retract. We can't take them back. So once they come out of our mouths, it's out there. So be careful about what you say. Be stingy with criticism and lavish with your praise. Think in terms like that. Now, sometimes you may have to say something negative to a friend, but make sure you carefully package it so that that friend knows that you have a valued interest in them and you're not just trying to dog them. Now, these are just a few tips for you, but carefully review them. And if you're lacking in some of those tips, well, it's time to practice, because we all need friends. Because we want you to have winning relationships so you can have that pocket of gold. We need people. And having winning relationships is good for you. Now, please, by all means, subscribe if you haven't. Love to hear from you. Hit that notification bell so that every time I post a show, you will know. Well, I'm Donna Smith, and we want you to have those winning relationships. And see you next show. I usually post on Sundays around early evening on Sundays, and I'm starting to post a show on Wednesday, same time around early evening on Wednesdays. So be looking for my shows at those times, Wednesdays and Sundays. By all means, subscribe. I want to know, and leave comments. Love to hear from you. Are there some other topics that you'd want me to cover in some of my future shows? Please leave a comment below. Love to hear from you. Again, I'm Donna Smith, and this is Sound Advice.